Can we get a roll call, please?
Supervisor Boone,
Present.
Supervisor Flores,
Present.
Supervisor Ziegemeier,
Present.
Supervisor Baines,
Present.
Supervisor Stevens.
Here. All right, if we could all stand, and we'll have our invocation led by Pastor April Sork with Crossroads Community Church.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, hallowed is your name above all others. We come before you today acknowledging your sovereignty and your grace. As we gather to conduct the business of Sutter County today, we thank you for the privilege of living in this beautiful and diverse community and this great nation. We lift up the Board of Supervisors to you today. Grant them wisdom as they weigh difficult decisions and give them hearts of servants as they listen to the needs of our residents. Give them clarity of mind and a spirit of peace and collaboration. May the choices made in this chamber always reflect justice, integrity, and compassion. Help these civil servants to steward our county's resources responsibly and to work tirelessly for the flourishing of every neighborhood in our great county. Bless the county staff, the citizens present today, and all those who work behind the scenes to keep our community safe, healthy, and thriving. We dedicate this meeting to your glory and to the service of our neighbors. In the holy name of Jesus, I ask it. Amen.
And if we could have our Under Sheriff Scott Smallwood lead us in the pledge. All right, if everyone can take a seat, and if we could have Judge Javelina come on up with your amazing students. Hey, we're fine, we're fine. You all are in for a treat today. We have time. We're excited.
I guess while we're waiting, if you could just let the audience know what you're being recognized for the reenactment that you did there at the court chambers.
My pleasure, Supervisor. Hi, everyone. I'm Judge Fitzhavliana, and it's my honor to be here today. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for reaching out and expressing their desire to recognize these students that are here with me today, and a few more students that are going to be trickling in here in a moment. So to celebrate Asian History Month last month, I had worked with a number of our students from local schools, Faith Christian High School, Lyndhurst High School, Marysville Charter Academy of the Arts, and then Riverbend Elementary, to put on a program that was designed to promote education on the Japanese American incarceration following during World War II, rather. I feel that it was a chapter in American history that often is forgotten about, and so it's very important to bring some light and attention to that. And so I worked with students, and we did a play based on a famous U.S. Supreme Court case, Korematsu versus United States. Mr. Korematsu was convicted for challenging the exclusion order, Executive Order 9066. He was convicted. The U.S. Supreme Court heard the case in 1944, affirmed his conviction, and it wasn't until 74 years later that they finally recognized the error of their ways. And so we put on a play to promote that, and these kids were absolutely amazing in it. Today, we're actually going to have a short excerpt to be performed by Adelie Burns, and then one of our students who is taking her time getting up here, but but she will be performing soon. Her name is Sanjana Chang. She will play the role of Mr. Korematsu. Adelie Burns will be playing the role of Wayne Collins, who was the attorney that represented Mr. Korematsu. Are we ready to go, Adelie? But again, thank you to the Board of Supervisors for not only recognizing the students today, but for coming to the event, always supporting the community, especially when it comes to young children and educating the community. So thank you for that. And so without further ado, this is Adelie Burns performing an excerpt from Mr. Korematsu and his fight against injustice.
Thank you. Your Honor, Executive Order 9066 is on its face unconstitutional. The executive order denies to citizens and to this defendant as a U.S. citizen the privileges and immunities of citizenship, including freedom of movement, the right to live and work where he pleases, the right of free speech and assembly. It operates to deny Mr. Korematsu his liberty without due process and equal protection of law. Thank you.
Our next actor is coming in shortly. She might be waiting in her trailer. You know, actors can be, right? Somebody has to get her out, but we're waiting for that. Just something I did want to mention, the students that are here today have participated in the high school mock trial program, and it's just amazing to see the work that they do. I always tell these kids, you know, I see a lot of attorneys. I was an attorney for 15 years of my life, and to see what these kids are able to do, to stand in front of a room full of strangers, deliver arguments, cross-examine witnesses, it's very impressive. So I know each of these students has a very bright future. Yes, sir. Yes, okay. This is Jennifer. I forget their last names. I have to look at my list. This is, oh yeah, Jennifer, if you want to introduce yourself and then work your way down.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I'm from Lyndhurst High School, and I participated in the mock trial.
Hi, I'm Danica Gianco. I go to Marysville Charter Academy for the Arts, and I also participated in the mock trial as a narrator.
My name is Juliette Mabry. I go to Lyndhurst High School, and I participate in the mock trial program.
My name is Daisy Halcomb. I'm from Lyndhurst High School, and I was also a narrator.
My name is Delilah Bates. I am from Faith Christian High School, and I was a witness in the mock trial.
My name is Adelie Burns. I go to Faith Christian High School, and I was an attorney.
My name is Cheyenne Ledbetter. I go to Lyndhurst High School, and I was a witness this year.
And I see our next students getting ready to walk in shortly. We also have... So this is the first time we've done this. The next program we're looking to do is to do a similar program designed for, there's a seminal case that dealt with Hispanic rights, and that's something that we're gonna be working with Judge Santana to put on, maybe to commemorate Hispanic Heritage Month. This is Sanjana Chang. Sorry to put you on the spot like this, but ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, she's always ready.
Would I just do like the speech right now? Yeah. Okay. My brain is going blank, guys. Sorry. I gotta remember. Okay. Like from the script? Okay. Your Honor, I still remember 40 years ago when I was handcuffed and arrested as a criminal. As an American citizen being put through this shame and embarrassment, and all Japanese Americans, citizens who were escorted to concentration camps, who were also put through the shame and embarrassment as I did. We cannot forget this incident for as long as we live. Those horse stalls that we stayed in were made for horses, not human beings. According to the Supreme Court decision, being an American citizen was not enough. You had to look like one, or else they said that you couldn't tell the difference between a loyal American or a disloyal American. I thought that that decision was wrong, and I still feel that way. As long as my record stays in federal court, any American citizen can be held in prison or in concentration camps without having a trial or a hearing. That is why I want to see the government admit that they were wrong and do something about it so that no one, no, not ever, not an American citizen can ever be put through this again, based off of their race, color, or creed. Thank you.
And again, that was Sanjana Chang, and her sister Katrina Chang has also joined us. So these students, again, have put in a lot of tremendous work, and I'm so happy that they're going to be honored today by our Board of Supervisors. So thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you very much. That was outstanding. If I could have the board members meet me out front.
For the certificate of recognition for the students, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors wishes to recognize Cambria Havalena, Aiden Avila, Katrina Chang, Sanjana Chang, Cheyenne Ledbetter, Jennifer Galarza, Juliet Mabry, Danica Gianco, Peter Soto, Delilah Bates, and Adelie Burns for your participation in the Korematsu versus United States trial reenactment. Your performance and commitment helped educate the community about the importance of civil liberties, courage, and the ongoing pursuit of justice. Thank you for using your voice and talents to honor history and inspire others. For the Honorable Fitzgerald A. Havalana, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors wishes to recognize the Honorable Fitzgerald A. Havalana for his outstanding leadership, dedication, and commitment in organizing the Korematsu versus United States reenactment and community program. Through your efforts to educate, engage, and inspire the community by preserving and sharing this important chapter in American history, you have fostered greater awareness of civil liberties, justice, and the importance of protecting constitutional rights for all. Through your vision and service, you created a meaningful program that honored the legacy of Fred Korematsu while encouraging thoughtful reflection, dialogue, and community connection. The Sutter County Board of Supervisors extends its sincere appreciation for your leadership and dedication to public education and commitment to civic engagement.
Okay, you're tall enough.
Thank you. We got to sit and watch the whole, the documentary, and it was pretty enlightening what happened. You know, you hear the stories, we've read the books, you know, even the stories, Farewell to Manzanita, and just incredible. But it was really neat to watch the documentary and watch the students do the whole trial. So I can't wait till their next one. It's great. And, you know, it's history. And they're learning. Great job, Judge. Way to put it together. All right, next we are going to move on to public comment. Members of the public will be allowed to address the board on items of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors. State law provides that no discussions or action may be taken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda.
We have 3 public speakers today. Our first speaker is Brock Baumgartner.
My name is Brock Baumgartner, and I am 10 years old and at 5th grade at Browns Valley Elementary. This is my first year of 4-H, and I chose to raise a pig. My family has been raising pigs to eat for the last few years, but this is my first time raising a market pig and taking care of one by myself. My pig's name is Miss Doubtfire, and she can be a bit wild. Raising a pig mostly by myself has been challenging. It's been hard getting home very late from baseball and getting up early before school to check on her, but I know I have to do it. I chose her myself, and I am happy. She is strong and healthy. As you can see from the letter that I'll give you, she has a good body structure and is very muscular. I will be sad to let her go, but I know she had a good time with me. I would like to invite you to come to the Junior Livestock Auction on Saturday, June 21st at the Yuba Sutter Fair at 9 a.m. With the money I get from selling her, I plan to first pay back my loan for my grandpa and pay my parents for her feed. After that, I would like to open my first bank account and start saving for a truck. 16 is so far away. I hope you will consider buying Miss Doubtfire. I'm sure she will be very yummy. Thank you for your consideration and support.
Mr. Baumgartner, I think it's 4-H. I have 3 kids that are in 4-H, actually. And it was there when I was a kid, but I didn't partake in it, and I wish I did because I still get nervous talking in front of people. You did an outstanding job. I'm actually the welding leader for the Sutter Buttes 4-H club, and I'm so glad that my kids haven't picked hogs because I see the effort and work it takes. Early morning walkings, in the evening walk-ins, the wait. Nothing breaks your heart more than these individuals working so hard with their animals and they don't make weight. And they did everything that they were coached on. They worked really well. It happens. And I encourage everyone, if you can, go to the auction. I'm not asking you to buy something at the auction. Just go and encourage these young ones, from pigs to sheep, lambs, turkeys, rabbits. It's pretty awesome to watch how hard they work. And then at that one day, well, I should say this, they have showing, all right? So they'll go through shows. Once that's over, and then comes Saturday, which is the auction day. And there are some great deals. I know a few people that kicked themselves in the rear by not buying a steer last year or a pig because it was, could have got a great deal and put some meat in the freezer. But you get a chance, go check it out. Great job. Make sure to give us all letters. Yeah. And we'll talk about posting all the letters in our hall from people that bring by to the county. Thank you.
Our next public speaker is Zachary Hamill.
Zachary Hamill. Good job, Zach.
Good afternoon, Chairman and Supervisors. I'm Zachary Hamill. I'm the Sutter County Emergency Operations Manager. I'm here today to give you an update on the public safety power shutoff for the mid-June. PG&E is forecasting a public safety power shutoff beginning Wednesday, June 10th, tomorrow at 8:15 in the morning, continuing through Thursday, June 11th at 9 a.m. Right before I got here, they did update the restoration time, and the restoration time will is anticipated to be Thursday, June 11th at 1600, so 4 o'clock Thursday. What is a public safety power shutoff? So these rules are set up by the California Public Utilities Commission, and they dictate when a utility has to do a public safety power shutoff. And this includes having a red flag warning, extreme dryness, which we will see with single-digit relative humidities, high winds. It has to be in a high fire threat zone, and they have to have real-time observations. So even with all these forecasts, if tomorrow morning at 8:15 comes around and they don't see these conditions, they will not continue with the power safety shutoff. But if they do see these conditions, they will continue with their plan. So what have we done so far? So far, OEM has taken actions on monitoring the situation. We're coordinating with our county partners, including HHS. We're identifying the in-home support services needs. We're contacting them. We're coordinating with the county public information officer, developing messaging to distribute through social media and emergency messaging platforms. We're coordinating with the National Weather Service. We're providing situational updates to the county, to the operational area, to all of our partners in the county. And the duty officer is remaining in contact with the PG&E rep. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
Our final public speaker is Tony Farley.
Tony Farley, North City. That includes the emergency broadcasting, right, Zachary? The emergency broadcast system too? The EBS or EAS? Or Colorado. Tony Farley, North City, North Side of City. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Jeff Stevens, Pumpkin Farmhouse, for his service. Pumpkin. Thank you, Jeff Stevens, for his service. Thank you, Congressman Dan Flores, future Congressman in Congress, hopefully. Thank you, Mike Ziegemeyer, the sports guy. Don't forget the cheerleaders. Don't forget the cheerleader awards. Don't forget cheerleaders, Mike Ziegemeyer. Carm Baines, the big Carm Baines guy. Don't forget Carm Baines, his nice John Deere tractor and Maserati. Don't forget Jet Boom, the boombox boom right there, Jet Booms. Don't forget Professor C. Smith from Harvard Kennedy School of Government. Harvard Kennedy School of Government, and Georgia School of Law, and Harvard School of Law. And don't forget William Bill, the president lawyer over there. Don't forget him. Don't forget the Commandant of the Marine Corps, Scott Hansen, the Commandant. Don't forget two-star undersheriff or two-star chief. I call him two-star chief pretty much, like Sacramento Sheriff's Department pretty much. down south of Sacramento sheriffs. And don't forget the chief, the new chief, the young guy right there. He's chief of Sergeant Arms here. Don't forget Todd Russ, the former county assessor. And don't forget Veronica Boongarden and her son, 4-H Club. Don't forget the BMW guy. And don't forget Zachary Hamble is our first civil defense director for Sutter County. Is civil defense director. And don't forget this the airman guy there, airman. And don't forget Neil. Don't forget Sir Rios, the Hampton guy over there. Don't forget Jamie. There's Jamie. And don't forget Stephanie and Gina. Don't forget probation department lady, and don't forget T. Hassan. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Tony. All right, moving on to consent calendar. The consent calendar groups together those items which are considered non-controversial or for which prior policy direction has been given to staff and that require only routine action by the board. The chair will advise the audience that the matters may be adopted in total by one motion. However, the board may, at its option or upon request of a member of the public, consider any matter separately.
To the chair.
Yes.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Supervisor Baines, second by Supervisor Flores. Can I get a roll call, please?
Supervisor Boone?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegemeyer?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Stevens?
Aye. All right, with that, we are going to adjourn as the Board of Supervisors and convene as a Waterworks District 1 Board of Directors, and we will let the roll call stand, and we're going to move on to public comment. Members of the public will be allowed to address the Waterworks District Number 1 Board of Directors on items of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. State law provides that no action may be taken on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. Moving on to the consent calendar.
Move approval of consent.
Second.
I got a motion by Supervisor Flores, second by Supervisor Baines. Can I get a roll call, please?
Director Boone?
Aye.
Director Flores?
Aye.
Director Ziegemeier?
Aye.
Director Baines?
Aye.
Director Stevens?
Aye.
All right, moving on to item number 4, appearance item.
Good afternoon, Chair and Supervisors. Neil Hay from Development Services. Just wanted to give you a presentation of the proposed budget for Waterworks District Number 1. So I think as you're aware, the district is essentially encompasses the town of Robbins, has about 93 sewer connections. Previous actions by your board have been the approval of the various administrative actions by my department in order to recoup unpaid balances by residents of Robbins. I can report to you that previously we reported that there were about 34 recipients, ratepayers that had balances on their accounts, and all of them have either brought their accounts current or under payment plans, 12 to 18-month payment plans. Our department does continue to send out bills every month, and there are some, I'll just say residents every month that end up receiving either a 15-day notice or a 48-hour notice, but then by the time the deadline comes, they do make their payments. So we are continuing to recoup those costs. I think previously we had expressed to your board that there was a little over $90,000 that was owed to the district. So we are continuing with that. With the budget that's been presented before you, so that you're aware, the district composes an enterprise fund and is supposed to be financially self-sufficient. So there are the ratepayers within the district, and as such, our department in the current fiscal year contracted with a consulting firm that could perform a 218 rate study to evaluate the ongoing operational costs and the existing sewer rates, and then the required capital improvements that need to be done in the district, so that we could then bring that before your board in the fiscal year 26-27 for your consideration and obviously a discussion. Some bright lights in the district. I think all of you are aware that the county, the department had applied for a federal earmark over a few different years for an emergency backup generator for the wastewater treatment plant, and that was subsequently awarded to the county. And then staff from my department is in communication with the EPA. The grant is actually going to come from the EPA, so that'll be a grant of $400,000 that we expect to be able to pursue and apply for by fall of this current calendar year, and then it can take up to 2 years for the funds to be expended by the time that we submit all of our documentation, do the work, and then get reimbursed. The budget that's included in your package includes appropriations that are just under $595,000. Those would include the cost of the generator, the $400,000 as a cost, and then as a reimbursement. The budget that's been proposed does have a reduction in appropriations and in I'll say the cost that we're trying to spend of about $167,000. So we've tried to trim where we can because of the challenges with the revenue to the district. I think you're aware that we have a consultant operator company that was selected through a competitive RFP process. And so we continue to try to limit their scope of services to what is state required. And then we rely upon other electricians and septic contractors to do and address deferred maintenance items within the district. So this is, like I say, an overview of the budget. There will be further presentation at the hearing next week. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions or If there's any for Laura, we can answer those.
We'll bring it back to the board for discussion.
Well, just a quick curiosity question. How many people does this serve, this water district?
Just about 350 approximately.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm sorry, I should have opened up for public comment. Is there any public comment? No public comment. Is there any other more discussion? Hey, great job, Neil. Wait, thank you for bringing us all the facts. This is something in the works from us, gosh, last few years, but it's great to finally get everything taken care of and get people paying back. All right, well, thank you very much, and there's no vote on this. This was just a presentation. All right, we are going to move on to appearance item.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, we are going to move on to, no, that is it. So with that being said, we're going to close the the water, and we're going to open back up as the Board of Supervisors.
Excuse me, Chairman, we do have an IHSS agenda.
All right. In-home services, I missed that part. Okay, we're going to open up as the, yeah.
Would you like the roll call to stand?
Yes, please.
Presentation on the in-home supportive service fiscal year 2026-27 recommended budget.
Good afternoon, Supervisors. My name is Laura Granados, Assistant County Administrator. I'm here to present the budget for the In-Home Support Services Public Authority. They were established in 2002 in response to Assembly Bill 1682 for Sutter County to act as the employer of record for IHSS providers. Total appropriations are recommended at $1,342,844, a decrease of $1,438 from the fiscal year 25-26 adopted budget. There is no county general fund in this budget unit. And with that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, and I have Sarah here to answer as well.
Thank you. With that, we are going to open up for public comment. Is there any public comment? We're going to close the public comment, bring it back for the board for discussion. And there's nothing to vote here. This is just for...
Just a clarification question. So how many providers do we have altogether?
Thank you, Supervisor. Currently, we have 1,600 providers.
And how many people is it serving 1,600 people, or is it?
1,800.
1,800. Okay, thank you.
And just a reminder, this will be part of the budget hearing on June 16th as well. All right, with that, we are going to... All right, we're going to close that. We are going to adjourn as the in-home support services public and open back up as the Board of Supervisors. And I'm moving on to item number 26 or 20.
Annual report from the Yuba Sutter Arts and Culture.
Good afternoon, Chairman Ziegemeier, members of the board, staff. Great to be back. Thanks for allowing me to come to you and give you an annual report of what we've been doing at the Yuba Sutter Arts Council. Our board revolves, of course, every year, and we're glad this year to welcome Supervisor Stevens as our Sutter County representative. Got a great leadership team. Currently, we have 3 full-time staff at the top and then 2 part-time contractors that help out with social media marketing, facilities management, and some other activities, as well as lots of great volunteers in the community. Our mission remains to stimulate how people think about the arts and to continue providing art experiences. I want to say thank you again for the proclamation in March recognizing our 45 years of service to the community. So our programs and services continue to be far-reaching. Not only the projects and events that we put on, but support for, we try to connect with all the arts and culture organizations in the community and support our very vibrant community. We own 2 facilities, as you know, the Burroughs Center for the Arts in Marysville, and then the Sutter Theater in Yuba City, and then we rent the Kalakara Art Studio Complex just a couple blocks from the Sutter Theater. right here, couldn't I? I'm squinting to look at that screen. People tell us all the time, gee, I wish I knew that event or program was going on and we would have signed up or bought a ticket. And I challenge them and say, well, gee, what are we missing here? We're pretty aggressive in our marketing. So it's just a kind of reminder, if there's something that we're not doing that we should be doing, let us know. We're pretty ubiquitous. Our biggest portfolio continues to be arts and education, field trips, student art shows, scholastic art and writing awards, poetry out loud, just a myriad of programs supporting the art teachers and artists in general. In fact, one of the young ladies that was part of the Korematsu trial was we've worked with before from MCAA. In fact, she was on a photo shoot. We paid her yesterday to be part of a tobacco education photo shoot. So Danica, it was very nice to see her this evening. Again, arts and education. This one I'm particularly proud of. A few years back, it was just a dream of mine to bring a youth mariachi orchestra program to town. We got some grant money, and we started with a couple of interested teachers who had no background in mariachi. And they went off to Las Vegas a couple of summers ago to the National Mariachi Educators Conference. And they came back and they said, boy, it wasn't a lot of fun. We worked. I mean, it was, they were in Vegas, of course. But really full days of educating music educators in this particular art form. And I'm proud to say that it's now morphing over into Sutter County. It's in Andros Carperos. And we're talking to other facilities. It's a matter of getting a teacher that has at least some background in mariachi. I should have put the newest picture in because that group that you see in the big group shot is more than double when they did their year-end concert at Arboga Middle School a few weeks back. We have after-school art classes during the school year. We're coming up on our, fifth, I think, season of Center Stage Productions. Full musicals performed at the Sutter Theater, led by Corey Kirsting and his wife Morgan. Corey's the music and theater educator at Yuba City High School and just does a phenomenal job. And I tell people, if you like musical theater, don't miss this. Even if you don't have a kid involved directly, this is just fantastic theater right here in the community. Stage 754 is our community theater program. They just completed a run of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which was just a lot of fun. They're doing Wait Until Dark in the fall, and then next year a fully staged version of Jesus Christ Superstar. We for years have been putting, even before the Sutter Theater was remodeled, we've been putting on the Tuba Christmas event, which is 30 people on stage playing big brass instruments. It's kind of silly good fun. We've also begun a community band where a lot of these music educators and young students can come together and play big band music. And then, of course, our full-on Yuba Sutter big band playing, the Great American Songbook. Art Box Marketplace is the name for our art gallery adjacent to the Sutter Theater. I think it used to be the Spur or the Town Pump, but now it's a beautiful little art gallery and open 5 days a week, and a great place to find gifts and items for your home. We always have an artist on site staffing the space. We do a lot of rentals. We're blessed to have a variety of income streams. Running an arts agency, as you can imagine, any nonprofit is always a challenge, and being able to rent facilities, sell art, sell tickets, and find grants, everything else we do to keep the doors open and the lights on. So we've had some really great events that we've hosted. Veterans art programs. Last year we had a year-long ceramics for veterans program. We had a couple of different grants we found. We did hand building, but then we also were able to take some of the veterans who were interested down to Sacramento and rent a space at Verge Art Center and give them a chance to work on the wheel, because that's what everybody always kind of imagines, right? It's harder than it looks, I'm told, but we've been doing these programs for many, many years. Lots of events just ongoing, whether it's comedy, our annual 48-hour film festival. Friday night, we've got James Garner's tribute to Johnny Cash. Turns out this guy is like huge. I had no idea how far-ranging his reputation goes. So we had a couple of our major donors who said, hey, we'll help sponsor and kind of bring this guy to town. We sold out twice. We sold the original 150 tickets and then added another 40 general admission, and those are all gone too. So love our special events. Public art, we love this. That mural on the left is the one that we commissioned out at Yuba College. Lower right is it's called Coming to America. It's on the wall adjacent to the Japanese American Citizens League and the Buddhist church building in Marysville. And that's the annual Oban Festival. That was another dream of mine, to see the drummers and dancers with that background rather than against a plain wall. Beautiful, another beautiful mural. Murals of Live Oak was an ongoing project with Live Oak for a number of years. We got matching funds from the National Endowment for the Arts. We did the utility box project with Yuba City for many years. Top right is a new piece. That's Dan Turner, the welding instructor out at Yuba College, who's we've collaborated with on a number of projects. We got a grant from the Feather River Air Quality Management District to create bike racks. So that was one of the designs that we came up with. It's now in the beautiful Tower Park there at the end of Plymouth Street and Bridge, along with the murals that the city contracted us to create. Of course, we were very involved in the Cotton Rosser Bronze Statue project. The Ride bike rack we put right in front of the Sutter Theater. Film Commission is a little sad. I was on the committee for many years. During the 2-year contract that I think you all helped fund, I'm told by the former film commissioner that the economic development impact was about $1 million over that 2-year period. I've kind of raised our hand and said, hey, well, maybe the Yuba Sutter Arts Council can help, at least as a placeholder, point of contact for outside film production companies that may want to come to town and do a commercial or TV show or documentary or major motion picture. So the whole thing's kind of on hold right now. I'm working with some folks to see if we can generate interest and find a little bit of funding to keep that effort going. Again, ongoing cultural programs, wide variety. Some of these were grant funded. The Salt of the Earth play that we did. Tom Galvin's Heroes and Victims album was all based on historic figures and events in Yuba Sutter. He's a great local singer-songwriter. Phoenix Drum and Dance are Regular's local African Caribbean dance company. Cultural programs, we're bringing back Mariachi Bonitas here in a couple of months, working with the Alliance for Hispanic Advancement. One-Eyed Riley, our favorite Irish band. Pulsating Strings, wonderful Indian ensemble. It was interesting when the students were here talking about the reenactment trial that they just were part of. A lot of that resonated. I didn't know that particular story until I read about it. I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend the event, but bringing it really local here, as many of you know, the Arboga Assembly Center in South Yuba County was the site of a temporary internment camp while the more permanent camps were being built. Most of the folks that were there wound up in Tule Lake in that camp. But in the meantime, 2,500 Japanese Americans, mostly citizens, were held at the Arboga Assembly Center site. We got some grant money through the California State Library. They had a particular program related to memorializing that Japanese American experience during World War II. And so using land that's actually owned by the Marysville Joint Unified School District, we created these metal barracks. Dan Turner, who you saw earlier with the pink salmon bike rack, created these for us. And then we have information logos, or murals. Each one has a QR code on it with a video related to that whole experience. So, I'd like to say we're great collaborators. And again, we try to work with pretty much every relevant organization, our community business leaders, as well as you all and other government leaders in the community. A couple of things that are coming up. On the left, that's an idea we have, and we've applied for grants. The concept is from a group in New Mexico called Origami in the Garden. That's a model of what would be 10 foot in the air, like 6 foot wingspan, metal cranes. The cranes are, of course, very significant in Japanese culture. They'll be on gimbals so that they'll actually rotate in the wind, and I'm really hoping to add that as a, another reason to visit that historic site, the Arboga Assembly Center. I should know in the next month or so if we're successful with that grant. Neon Alley is happening on Plymouth Street. That is funded thanks to the National Endowment for the Arts. We own, because the city of Yuba City gave them to us a number of years ago, the town pump sign. This was all before my time, but I'm told they were very lively establishments. And those big original neon signs are sitting in our storage yard. So those will be refurbished. Other folks have come forward with other signs that will incorporate. That's not necessarily the final mural design, but just to have something to talk about. Yes, it is AI generated, and it breaks my heart, but doggone it. So easy. The lower right-hand sidewalk art or asphalt art, it's called a number of things. We also have a grant funded for one intersection on Plumas Street, Church and Plumas, and it's going before Yuba City Council next week for approval. But and that's not the design. We have a cool, colorful design incorporating some chickens. So that'll be a lot of fun. So watch for that in the next few weeks once we get final approval. Sponsorship, fundraising opportunities. I mean, heck, we'll do almost anything for money for the cause. So if anybody's interested, memberships and buy a star out front in our Walk of Fame. Lots of exciting ways to support the arts. Our main stage project is underway. We're actually doing some kind of low-key events back there. Many of you, I think, have been in and seen it. It's cleared out now. We've done some student art shows. We're going to do a fundraiser there later this year. Architectural drawings are almost done. I've been saying that for a year and a half. So it's coming along nicely. That will provide a 299-seat venue, performing arts venue, right in the heart of Yuba City. And that's it. Thank you very much. Any questions?
All right.
How'd I do on time?
We're going to open up the public comment. Any public comment? We'll close public comment, bring it back to the board for discussion. I know this just appeared.
Through the chair?
Yes.
Yeah, so I just want to say, Dave, thank you for the presentation. I'm always amazed by the number of programs and services that you guys provide. I mean, so it feels like every day there's something great going on, and you're working on both sides of the river, and just have a huge, tremendous impact on local artists and the community as a whole. And I just want to express our appreciation for the work that you do. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, the chair. Yes. I'd just like to echo Supervisor Flores' comments. You do a lot, and your committee and your people that's involved in the arts, it's just a lot of good stuff going on for our area. It's really good for our area. Thank you.
And thanks for being a great board member.
All right. Thank you, Dave. I just want to say thank you. I think you do a great job of leveraging the funds that you do get and what you do with them. It's amazing how much you bring back with those little funds. I'm a big fan of what you do with the veterans. A lot of people don't realize what you do for the veterans. It's amazing. I love what you do with the kids. I love the electric boxes. My question is, I love the street. You know how you're going to do that, and is there like a clear coat that you put over that? So, because you're always going to get a knucklehead that's going to, spray.
Well, we did that, of course, with the wall murals, but we're working with Ray Products. They're out of Illinois. They're one of the leading asphalt paint companies in the country, and it's bulletproof. I mean, can somebody come in and spray something over it? Sure.
Yeah,
but we'll have plenty of backup paint. We'll touch it up as needed. So, but it's not just household paint. This is it's like $70 or $80 a gallon. It's crazy.
It brightens up the neighborhood. All the communities that you have the boxes, kids love them.
Well, and Feather River Air Quality Management gave us that
adults,
money.
I like it. I like seeing the different murals.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're hoping it'll also slow traffic on Plumas Street. Eventually, I hope to get enough money to do all the intersections because that, traffic calming effect that we hope will happen, lower speeds, reduce air emissions. So that's why they gave us the money for this test pilot project. So,
all right. Thank you.
Chair?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, one quick thing. I just want to thank you for all your efforts. Really appreciate what we've got up in Live Oak. They had several murals. I know that the city chip got together, and some people weren't too pleased about spending money on murals, but I can tell you they really make a big difference in our community, and thank you for that. I know when I was in school back in the 70s, the big thing was to paint fire hydrants, and I don't know whatever happened to that.
I've never done one of those. That would be
thing.
fun.
But maybe something to bring back. All right. Well, thank you again.
No, thank you. That was a great project. We loved working with, it was actually former city manager Jim Goodwin that got started on that, and we got matching grant funding, so we brought a lot of additional money into the community for that project. So,
thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. With that, we're going to move on to item number 21.
Approval to appoint 2 members to serve on the Sutter Cemetery Board District Board of Trustees for 4-year terms, and approval to appoint one member to serve on the Sutter Cemetery District Board of Trustees for a short-term appointment expiring on December 13th, 2026.
Hello, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. I'm Gina Graham, your Assistant Clerk of the Board. So as Ms. Ratner stated, the item before you is to approve 2 members to serve on the Sutter Cemetery District Board of Trustees for 4-year terms and appoint one member to serve for a short-term appointment expiring on December 13th, 2026. Our office received 5 applications. These applications were forwarded and reviewed by the Sutter Cemetery District Board. And they recommend Jean Brown and Susan Eggleston be appointed to serve the 2 4-year terms and Benjamin Moody to be appointed to serve the short term through December 13th, 2026. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Can I ask you who are, I looked at my report, but I'm curious, I noticed there was a few other names that weren't mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. Other applicants were Harjwan Singh, Billy Oler, and those are the other 2 that applied.
Okay, so we have Harjwan Singh, Ben Moody, and Billy Aller. Okay, so I see we have Harjwan, and then Ben Moody, and then Billy Aller,
Jean Brown,
Jean Brown,
and Susan Eggleston.
Susan, no, I saw that, but I just want to, I'm just curious. So you have 5 and 3 individuals. All right.
And the recommendation came from?
From the Sutter Cemetery District Board of Trustees.
Through the chair, I'm going to recommend Harjwan Singh as one. So I don't know if there's a second to that recommendation, but I'm going to recommend Harjwan.
And just for clarification, Supervisor Flores, would you like that the short-term vacancy or for one of the 4-term vacancies?
It would be for the short-term vacancy.
Okay.
To the chair.
Yes.
I'd also like to nominate Ben Moody for the long term.
All right, and then, so we have 1 short term and we have 1 long term looking for another.
We need a second nominations if we're going to carry.
Well, I'll second that.
Wait.
I'm sorry, we're looking for a second. That's what I'm getting, yeah. So
You have to second mine.
when I reached out to,
Somebody does.
I'll second you.
Okay. And then he made a nomination.
I made a nomination for Ben
Supervisor.
Moody.
Okay, you nominated Ben Moody for the long term.
The long term.
Second.
Okay, so now we're looking for,
So one more appointment to the remaining 4-year term.
To the chair, I was reading here that Jean Brown is a current board member.
That's correct. She reapplied for the 4-year term. Her term is coming up to, is about to end. So she's reapplied.
And she wasn't on the recommendation list.
She was. Jean Brown and Susan Eggleston were recommended by the Sutter.
I'd like to nominate Jean Brown.
I'll second that.
all right.
Oh, go ahead.
So we have a motion and a second on all 3. Can we get a roll call, please, on all 3?
For the recommendation for Harjwan Singh was motioned by Supervisor Flores, seconded by Supervisor Ziegemeier for the 4-year term. Supervisor Boone?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegemeier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Stevens?
Aye.
The second motion is motion by Supervisor Boone, seconded by Supervisor Baines for Ben Moody for the short-term appointment expiring December 13th, 2026. Supervisor Boone?
I think we had Ben Moody down as a long term.
Yeah, and Harjwan is the short term.
Oh, that's right.
But-
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you have to.
So the short term is Harjwan Singh, and the full term, 4-year term, is Ben Moody and Janine Brown.
Yes.
Supervisor Boone?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegemeier? Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Stevens?
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Motion passes. Moving on to, let's see.
Authorization to execute a contract with KS State Bank in the amount of $200,144.73 for the financing of a 2026 Caterpillar 310 excavator through United Fleet Services. Authorization for the Director of Development Service or their designee to execute the contract.
To the chair, I'd just like to move approval of this item.
Second.
All right, get a roll call, please.
Supervisor Boone?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegemeier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines? Supervisor Stevens?
Motion passes. Moving on to item number 23.
Approval of a memorandum of understanding with the Sutter County Professional Firefighters Association covering the period of July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2027, and authorization for the chairman to sign the MOU.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the board. Veronica Baumgardner, HR Director. I'm coming before you today for approval of an MOU as stated with the Professional Firefighters Association here with Sutter County. The existing agreement between the county and the association expired last June 30th of 2025. The county and the association began meeting in the spring of 2025. And as of this past May 27th, we have reached a tentative agreement. The attached agreement in your packet speaks to things such as wages, hours, and other terms and conditions of the employment, but some of the major components I'll go over here today. A 2% base wage, which will be effective the first full pay period following your board's approval. Beginning in December of 2026 for 2027 plan year for benefits, all medical plans other than the high deductible plan will receive the same negotiated county contribution that we provide to those in a high deductible that have a health savings account, and that will be for future years. And the county further agrees to continue to work on updating some language updates in our sick leave and leave of absence policy. There were also a wide variety of other non-economic and housekeeping policy-related items as well, really just cleanup language that we were able to come to agreement on with the association. So going to the fiscal impact, the 2% salary increase effective the first pay period following your board's approval would be $2,281 for the remainder of this year. And for next fiscal year, the 2% would be $59,304. It is expected that the CSAF budget will absorb these costs within its existing appropriations for salaries and benefits for the current fiscal year, as well as within the recommended budget for next year for 26-27. And I'm here for any questions.
All right, with that, we're going to open up the public comment. Is there any public comment? We're going to close the public comment, bring it back for the board for discussion and a vote.
Move approval.
Second.
I got a motion by Supervisor Flores, second by Supervisor Baines. Can I get a roll call, please?
Supervisor Boone?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegemeier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Stevens?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'd like to say thank you to my team and the association as well for working with us. Thank you, and to you all.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 24.
Presentation on the fiscal year 2026-27 recommended budget.
Good afternoon. Laura Granados, Assistant County Administrator, here to present the 26-27 recommended budget. Just as we like to do, we like to show where we are in the process. Back in December 2025, your board approved the calendar, and the process formally began in January. Since that time, departments have submitted their budget requests and met with CAO staff to discuss upcoming needs and operational trends. The process has resulted in the 26-27 recommended budget that I am bringing before you today. The budget is balanced, although achieving that balance required significant actions across many departments, which we will detail throughout this presentation. But before I start, I'd like to introduce our brand new interactive first online budget book. It's very exciting. We worked really hard on this with the different departments. And so the budget book provides the public with an easy access to the county's full budget without needing to download a large file. This particular QR code can be used to access the budget on your phones, which is very exciting. The document includes nearly 1,000 pages of detailed information offering a comprehensive overview of the county revenues and expenditures. I love that you're all doing this right now. The online format improves transparency and usability through enhanced search functionality, along with charts and graphs that help clarify complex financial data. Narrative sections are also included to provide context for key budget information. Printed copies are, as always, available at the county library and the county administrator's office for folks that can't access online budgets. So back to our budget. So we started with a gap of $5.3 million. And lots of folks have been asking, how do you get the budget gap? So I wanted to come before you and kind of explain a little bit for everyone. Once the departments submit their requests and all the inter and intra-fund transfers are balanced, and the total department requests are compared with the projected revenues. And if the requests exceed the amount of projected revenue, that's what creates the gap. And this year it was $5.3 million. We used a combination of strategies to close that gap as outlined on this slide. And because these strategies were implemented across various departments, I'm going to provide a brief overview rather than detailing individual transactions. The largest single adjustment was instituting additional vacancy savings, which accounts for approximately $3.5 million in reductions to what the departments requested. Other actions included updating revenue projections based on current trends, reducing discretionary spending, deferring selected capital projects, and applying additional carryover fund balance from the current fiscal year. Most departments were affected to some degrees by these adjustments, which ultimately resulted in the balanced budget. This slide shows total appropriations by fund for the fiscal year compared to 25-26 adopted budget. Overall, appropriations increased from $5.35 million to $535 million to $551 million, or about 3%. A portion of this increase is due to the transition of Bi-County Behavioral Health from Mental Health Services Act to Behavioral Health Services Act. And this required an accounting change, which shows about $11 million in both funds for comparison purposes. This is not new spending. This is just a structural change in the accounting and how the funds are displayed. The general fund increased about $5.7 million, driven mainly by growth in property taxes, sales tax, interest earnings, and fee-for-service revenues. And even though much of this increase supports public safety, decreasing Proposition 172 and realignment revenues and other limited funding sources offset that increase. State and federal revenues declined in both welfare and public health by a combined $12 million, primarily due to reduced grant funding and realignment revenues. And unlike public safety, these programs do not receive general fund backfill to offset those reductions. This slide shows where funding comes from. Approximately 39% of our funding comes from state and about 16% comes from the federal government. Combined, that is a decrease of nearly 10% when compared to the prior year, where the state was about 46% and the federal funding was about 19%. It's also important to note that much of the state and federal funding is restricted to specific programs, which limits how it can be used locally. Local taxes make up about 15% of the total funding, and those are our primary sources of discretionary funding that supports general county operations and your local priorities. This chart shows expenditures by category. Personnel costs continue to make up the largest share of county spending at just under 50% of the total budget, reflecting the fact that services are delivered primarily through our workforce. The county employs approximately 1,000 staff, and compensation costs continue to rise due to inflation and labor market pressures. Most personnel costs are determined through negotiated labor agreements, which limits flexibility in this area. As a result, personnel costs remain a key factor in budget balancing. The recommended budget also includes a contingency reserve of just over $1 million. And while it is a small portion of the overall budget and not easily visible on this chart, it is important safeguard that provides limited flexibility for unforeseen needs during the year. It's that really tiny sliver of green right there, hard to see. On this slide, the general fund contains most of the discretionary resources available to the board, and this slide shows how those resources are allocated across major service areas reflecting the county priorities. And if you add the great big blue public safety with the trial court, the black right there, you can see that over 50% goes to public safety. Trial court is your probation department, it's your public defenders, and your sheriff court bailiffs. And so those are all your public safety. So you really are committed to public safety in the community, and this definitely shows that. It is also important to note that several departments shown here operate with significant external funding that is not reflected in this chart. For example, Health and Human Services has an overall budget of $200 million, but only 2.5% is supported by the general fund. Development Services also relies heavily on fee-based revenues and project-specific funding sources. In contrast, general government departments depend more heavily on general fund due to limited access to external funding or fee-generating opportunities. So it appears higher, even though it's a lower portion of the total budget. This slide summarizes authorized positions included in this budget. Overall, the budget reflects a net reduction of 2 positions compared to current staffing levels. This includes reductions within Health and Human Services of 5 positions, including absorption of 4 positions from probation and funding 1 auditor-controller position who will be assigned HHS-related specific financial tasks. And this is a great example of how our departments work together to keep service levels intact. Any increase in FTE from the current staffing levels are funded through non-general fund sources. Most notably among these are the 7 FTE increases in development services, which are supported primarily through levied fees, particularly from the Sutter Point development. While staffing levels are relatively flat, the recommended budget includes approximately $15 million in vacancy savings across all departments. And what this means is that vacancy savings is the anticipated salary and benefit savings due to historical trends in turnover, recruitment timelines, and intentional position strategies that management uses. Health and Human Services and Public Safety represent the largest share of these savings due to overall size of their workforce. And what this means is when we tell the department, you know, we need you to come more in line with the history. And so that's a way we balance our budget is now you're not allowed to spend what you need for your staffing because we're going to reduce it by this much. So it's pretty significant. On an equivalent basis, this level of vacancy savings represents approximately 105 full-time positions or an estimated 9% vacancy factor across the organization for the entire year. This approach allows the county to maintain a balanced budget while aligning staffing expenditures with available resources and not reflective of the service level that the community is expecting from us. Consequences of these staffing levels are longer wait times. Some services may experience a reduced availability. Capital projects and facility maintenance may be delayed, which can increase long-term costs due to deferred maintenance. Recruitment and retention may also be impacted due to the limited staffing flexibility and compensation constraints. Burnout due to limited staffing levels compound all of these issues. But the most important is the reduced financial flexibility limits that the county's ability to respond to an economic downturn. And while these reserves remain in place for this purpose, a prolonged revenue decline would ultimately require expenditure reductions. And because we have already reduced down to a minimum level of service, we don't have a lot of impact options available to us. This slide shows our projected revenues, and they're based on current trends. For example, property tax revenue is projected to grow at 5.8% compared to an average growth rate over the past 10 years of 5%. This estimate is based on projections provided by the auditor, controller, and the assessor, and are reasonable based on current conditions. But generally speaking, Sutter County has estimated more conservatively in case of economic downturns, and revenue performance will be closely monitored so that if we have to adjust our appropriations mid-year, we will be able to do so if revenue falls below projections. This slide does not include funding for several capital projects identified during the budget development process. In order to balance the budget, the renovations for the clerk recorder and the continuation of the 463 2nd Street renovations, which are currently underway, they've been paused. And the 190 Garden Highway renovations have also been removed from the budget. However, the budget does include funding for select one-time capital needs, including vehicle replacements. These vehicles are supported through one-time funding, prioritizing immediate operational needs. So the Board of Supervisors has long maintained a policy of not backfilling reductions in state-funded programs with limited local discretionary revenues. However, sustaining that position is becoming increasingly difficult as the state continues to reduce local flexibility while simultaneously expecting counties to address complex and growing challenges such as homelessness, behavioral health, and public safety with inadequate resources. For example, the Prop 36, which was enacted by voters in 2024, still remains unfunded. The governor's May revise did not include significant ongoing funding increase for counties, despite CSAC requesting over $4 billion annually as a result of the HR 1 implications. And instead, the May revise included increased county costs for CalFresh administration, IHSS payments, and other key areas. While the Senate and Assembly budget adjustments do include additional county assistance, they are linked to non-dedicated revenue sources that haven't even been enacted yet. So they are not likely to be supported by the governor. They'll most likely be challenged in court. And if they are approved, they will most likely increase the state's general fund rather than be dedicated to counties for long term. This creates significant fiscal uncertainty for counties. These revenue sources, which are generated for counties, most notably Prop 172 and realignment. Prop 172 is decreasing, and realignment is behind on growth payments due to counties. And so the budgets that you're seeing here were developed with the best information available as of early May. Department heads are going to be closely monitoring their budgets, especially with regard to state budget actions. It's been rumored that trailer bills will be coming through all the way through October. So we will definitely be monitoring our budgets so that if any reductions come through, then we will be able to adjust mid-year to make sure that we have the financial capacity to absorb any losses in state funding. So with that, with all those challenges, we do have some reasons for optimism in the county. Sutter County was awarded, as Neil had mentioned, the $400,000 for the Waterworks emergency backup generator, as well as $1.5 million for public safety radios. We are also pursuing economic development activities with renewed vigor and focus. While the state and county have had contentious relationships, a leadership change will be incoming, and it is hopeful that that renewed connection may bring new attitudes toward working together and addressing our most vital needs with funding, hopefully. And while our revenues are waning, Sutter County has maintained measured growth and fiscal discipline throughout the last several years. We have kept our budget stabilization reserve and our general fund reserve intact as recommended by the Government Finance Officers Association, and we have a reasonable contingency for one-time impacts or unexpected events. The Sutter Point development continues to progress as the board received a presentation on the Margaritaville branding, and houses are expected to be built by spring of 2027. This development will bring revenue in through multiple revenue streams. So our next steps in the budget process is that we will hold budget public hearings on the recommended budget on June 16th at 10 in the morning right here. And any modifications resulting from the budget hearings will be included in the budget brought before you for consideration for adoption at your regularly scheduled meeting on June 23rd. Typically, the county tentatively approves the recommended budget with adoption sometime in September, but we are striving for an earlier adoption to eliminate rebudgets and create efficiencies between fiscal years in Workday, our county's finance system. The county has until October 2nd to meet the state's formal budget adoption deadline. So on behalf of the county administrators, we'd like to, and on behalf of Steve, we'd like to officially thank all the department heads, all the fiscal staff, and the Board of Supervisors for your collaboration through another challenging budget season. Sutter County truly has a special team of public servants, and their contributions towards the good of Sutter County are always greatly appreciated. And with that, any questions?
Thank you very much, Lisa. Okay. We're going to, or Laura, we're going to open up the public comment period. Is there any public comment? With that, we're going to close public comment, bring it back for the board for discussion. Supervisor Flores will.
Laura, thank you. Great presentation. It's always amazing how the work that you guys do working all together. So, kudos to the whole staff. Being able to pull out, when you look at it at first and see a $5.6 million budget gap, it freaks everybody out. But somehow you're able to pull it together and then working as a team. And, I know there's a lot of sacrifices made by employees of the county that people don't even understand, but, they're there. And every year you guys pull it off, and it's amazing. And we just want to just say thank you for the work done on it.
All right. Anyone else? All right. With that, I want to say great job. Seriously, great job. I remember last year in 2025, when we talked about freezing positions, and just from seeing what was going on and seeing what the state was handing out, especially more or less in your HHS services. And over the course of the last 6 months, we've had a front row seat, personally, us and staff, in seeing that the programs that are getting shoved off to the county. And what I'm getting at is here, Sutter County, we used to pay for this whole program. We think this program is going to cost about $750,000. So we're going to give you $750,000, and everything extra is going to come out of your general fund. Here at Sutter County, this is all these individuals that have to go in violent mental health individuals that have to go into special facilities. We think at any time you're going to have, 19? A cap of 19, and if you go over that number, we're going to fine you for all that. That's what's happened, and that's what's happening. And we have to make cuts everywhere. You see a budget of 3%, but what you don't see is you don't see the escalator of insurance that goes up a lot more than 3%. So outstanding job, great job. Thank you to my fellow Board of Supervisors. I'm proud of these gentlemen and proud of the staff here. We have the greatest people to work with, and it's just a great team. You guys did a great job. Thank you. And I don't believe there is a vote on this because we have the budgets next week, so please show up to that. And with that, we are going to move on to item number 24. Or I'm sorry, 25.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. Steve Smith, County Administrator. Yes, so the budget hearings are next week, Tuesday, 10 a.m. right here, open to the public. On that presentation, you'll note it shows the the budget study session was canceled. However, we did hold that at a board meeting. It's just the separate meeting was canceled, so we still had that review. I wanted to mention, Zach, you had something you wanted to add to the conversation earlier, if you could go ahead and do that. And then I just have a couple things.
One additional thing is county staff pushed hard back on PG&E, and we've coordinated a community resource center. So they'll be opening a community resource center at the SYO, the Sutter Youth Organization, out in Sutter, starting tomorrow morning. I don't know exactly what time they will open just yet. We're still negotiating that with them. But there will be a resource center for community members who are impacted by the power outage to go there, charge their devices, use the air conditioning, and have some power as needed for the power outage.
Zach, is this only on limited areas in Sutter County or specific areas? Where
Yeah, so-
most likely?
It's targeted to those high fire severity zones that CAL FIRE published last year, which is why we haven't seen a PSPS in the county up until last June. So we've never been a part of those until last June. And what we'll see is it'll always, I shouldn't say always, 99% of the time it'll be targeted to the Sutter Buttes area.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Thank you.
And Zach, these are kind of outside of the town of Sutter and kind of surrounding the buttes a bit, right?
Correct, yeah. So there is a map that we'll be publishing later this afternoon. And as you'll see is, it looks very bizarre, but it all has to do with the PG&E circuits and what circuits they're turning off based on the fire threat.
All right.
To the chair?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, one question, how many counties are involved in this blackout, brownout, whatever it may be?
I have the whole list here.
I kind of looked at it on the map, and it kind of looked like the Proposition 50 changing the district, as it kind of went from Sutter County to the east.
So these are, like I said earlier, these are all rules set by CPUC, and they started PSPSs. Well, PG&E started PSPSs back in 2018. San Diego Gas and Electric.
PSPS.
The Public Safety Power Shutoff.
Okay.
San Diego Gas and Electric has done it long before that, but PG&E started them in 2018. And the impacted counties are Colusa, Glenn, Lake, Napa, Sonoma, Tehama, Yolo, and Sutter County.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Steve?
Yeah, so just quickly, I don't know if folks saw the article in the paper, but someone vandalized and stole copper from several of the air conditioning units at the library. And so please check out that article if you have a moment. But the amount of metal they would have gotten out of that may have been $50, $60, $100, and it's likely going to cost us $100,000 to replace those air conditioning units. Also, we are putting in some strong fencing and security, cameras for that area, and it's just really disheartening. We've been having to close the library earlier because of the lack of air conditioning. We'd looked at portable units. It was going to be something like $6,000 or $8,000 a week. It was really unaffordable. So, but we are waiting on, we've received a quote. We're waiting on some other quotes to see how quickly we can move forward with this. I will say, Ayla, our county librarian, sent an email today mentioning despite the warm temperatures, we had over 600 people show up for the craft time at the main branch. Kids made flower bird feeders and colored kites. So that was great that we still had a strong turnout. And then I also wanted to just mention two quick events. At the library, at the museum, kicking off its Fun Fridays in the Garden series this week, which runs through July 31st, except for July 3rd due to the holiday weekend. Free program held in the Artisan Community Garden for kids of all ages and will feature different activities each week from 9 to 11 a.m. Guardians must be present for each session. And then the application period for the upcoming Biz Kids Showcase is now open through June 12th. The Biz Showcase gives local youth age 6 to 17 the opportunity to turn their business ideas into reality by setting up shop for a day at Yuba Sutter Marketplace, selling their products or services, and competing for cash prizes. Thanks to the Board of Supervisors for your support in sponsoring this event. The showcase will take place July 25th. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we're going to move on to my fellow supervisors for district reports, starting out with Mr. Flores.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to close the meeting in memory of Shailene Menard. If we could do that, a letter of condolences, please. And then I want to announce for the heart of Sutter County, in the 2nd District, we have the Summer Stroll coming up on the 20th. So please join us over on Plymouth Street, and it's always a good turnout and a really fun time. That's all I have to report. Thank you, Chairman.
Supervisor Stevens?
Yes, I'd like to close in the memory of Thomas Smith, who was my brother-in-law that passed away yesterday at the age of 58. He was a lifetime resident of Yuba City up until the last 3 years. He grew up playing football as a honker. He had 3 boys, which he spent many years out at the Sutter Little League Park, and also was very active in the Sutter High School shooting team with his boys. He worked for Valley Communication and was project manager on projects such as the Bellagio, the UC Davis Hospital Extension, and the final project was Yuba Water Agency, the new facility. Tom will be very missed by his family and friends. Thank you.
Supervisor Baines?
If I could please be added on to the letter for Shailene. I'd like to close in memory of David Bud Bagley. Bud was a well-known local, lifetime member in this community, having worked for Sutter County Ag Department for over 30 years, and then later for Sutter Orchard Supply. Bud graduated in 1957 from Sutter High School and resided in Yuba City with his wife, Pat, who's also retired from Sutter County and helps with elections in the elections office. They're a wonderful pair together. Bud is a part of a multi-generational local family, recognized as the son of late Irene Bagley, who lived to be 101 years old, and Art Bagley, former Sutter County supervisor. So Bud also was an avid Sutter High School football supporter, working the chain game for over 50 years. They'd like to close tonight's meeting in his honor and also request a letter of sympathy and condolences to go to his family. In addition, I'd like to request a paver to be put out at the museum in his honor. I'd like to invite everybody out to the Yuba Sutter Fair, the 25th to the 27th. And don't forget, the 21st is the livestock auction. So make sure everybody gets a chance to come out and join our local fair here in Yuba City. And then also I'd like to request either a plaque or a certificate of recognition recognizing the hierarchy of the Sikh faith. President Harjinder Singh Dhami, he's the president of the SGPC. He's visiting, actually just got into town this morning, like just after midnight, but he'll be visiting here until the 17th, so I get something for him and also the delegation that are with them. They'll be here in Yuba City, in Sutter County, specifically to look at the property that was donated to them, I want to say, 13 years ago, and to see what they need to do to get that project started. Thank you.
Supervisor Boone.
Yeah, I'd like to request a plaque for Jasmine Para. She's a Live Oak High School student and former foster youth. Obtained several donations as part of the senior project and offered these donations to Sutter County Health and Human Services, specifically to the Children's Services branch. With those 395 items, some dolls, board games, kits, figurines, puzzles, and such, and all donated as her senior project. And I think that deserves a plaque from our board. If I could get a second on that.
And just one request. I don't know if I asked for the 5 individuals that are with them for them to get recognized. There's a vice president, secretary, and other members of the SGPC.
And I'd also like to close today, not only in Bud Bagley, which was a good friend as well, but my brother-in-law, he's my brother, Lane Harris. He was involved in a little accident out in the orchard this last week, and gonna miss that guy. He was my brother-in-law, but he was really my brother, and he was a great father, great grandfather. I mean, he really loved those kids, and gonna miss him dearly. I'd like to get a letter of recognition sent, or condolences sent to the family. Lisa Harris, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd also like to recommend that we get a plaque for the East Nicholas girls softball. They won their section championship, please.
It's amazing. All right, thank you, Supervisor. Like to be added onto those plicks for Shaylee Menard and Bud Bagley. Bud traveled everywhere with Sutter football. Traveled to Texas. He traveled to Oregon, traveled to Idaho. He would have went with them to Texas this year when they play in Texas. He would have went with them to Nevada when they played in Nevada. He was literally one of the biggest fans, him and Larry Munger. They were always on the chain gang, always there. It's going to be really odd going to a football game and not seeing either one of those two at one of the Sutter High School football games. It's tough, especially when you lose huge fans. I'd like to close in memory of Raymond Valdez Sr., who passed away last week, and Stephen Boggs, who passed away a few weeks ago, and Jared Lee, who passed away a few weeks ago of Sutter. Two great individuals. And I'd also like to send a letter to, or we'll bring it up, put it on the agenda for next meeting. The Sutter Buttes, after speaking with our former fire chief, does not recall ever having a fire in the Buttes due to wind. So when they categorize the Sutter Buttes as part of that, you could imagine how blown away the individuals are that live in the Buttes, because as they can recall, there has never been a fire caused by high wind. So, and if they can get some clarification when they say, hey, we're going to categorize you, because there's no evidence or proof to reason why. So with that, if we could look into that and then put that on discussion so we can talk about sending a letter to ask to be pulled off of that list, that shut-off list. Other than that, great job to staff, good job. We do have a closed session right after this.
To the chair.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry, we need a motion to
Move
approve.
approval. Yep.
Second.
We got a motion by Supervisor Flores, second by Supervisor Baines. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Boone?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegelmeyer?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Stevens?
Aye. All right, motion passes. I want to thank the two young men in the room, Mr. Brock Bumgarner and Mr. Dylan Ziegelmeyer, my son. You guys have been amazing sitting here through this whole meeting. Luckily, this was a fast one, but great job. I love it. Meeting adjourned, and we have a closed session.
We have two closed sessions. The first one is conference with labor negotiator Linda Durer and Veronica Baumgartner, employee organizations, POA, DSA, and law management, pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The second closed session is evaluation of public employee, position title County Administrator, pursuant to Government Code Section 54957, subsection B.